Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So I'm getting off work and I'm sitting here thinking about sibling dynamics. So I told you guys that I have 4 kids. I have 4 girls and they are definitely the best thing that has ever happened to me. But within those 4 girls are 4 very different personalities. My oldest is 14. I have an 11-year-old. I have a 6-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. And each one of them, they definitely they're very strong-willed. They have a strong personality. But something that I struggle with, I notice, is that the dynamic between all 4 of them. I want them to know, as a mom to them, all 4 of them, that their bond should be something that is thicker than anything in this world. Because at the end of the day, that's all that they're gonna have. They're only gonna have one another. And I just want to stress that to them. I cannot stress that to them enough. I know that my family and we try to convey that to them. Hey, you know what? No matter, sunshine, rain, snow, in the good and bad and the ugly, you're only gonna have each other. And I think that a lot of times, a lot of families really struggle with that, finding the balance for them and finding that sibling dynamic. Because a lot of the times, siblings aren't brought up in a way that they can be supportive to each other. A lot of the times they're fighting, they're envious of each other for some way, shape, or form. They're fighting for your attention. They're mad about some things that, just really aren't worth being mad about. And I thought about this, now that I'm on my way home from work, and I'm just wondering who else struggles with this as well with their kids. It doesn't necessarily have to be if you have all girls, all boys, whoever. My biggest thing to my kids is that I want them to understand that here on earth, time is so precious. And I know that I continuously say that. Time is but a vapor. While they're on this earth, I want them to understand that their relationship with one another should be something that is, it's unbreakable. There's nothing that one of them can do to each other that can tear down that bond. I want them to love each other. I want them to be there for each other. I want them to confide in each other. I want them to support each other. Of course, my oldest, I would like for her to lead by example, but sometimes that's hard, and that's hard for many reasons. That's hard because life gets in the way of many things. And I know sometimes their bond is deteriorated or broken based on the home or the environment that they're in. So I know that sometimes it's not always some individuals' choices to have a good bond or a bad bond. But what I want to do as a mom of my 4 kids is I want to ensure that I provide them a life of love, a life of purpose, a life of intentional, intentional self-care, self-love, so that they understand that in this cruel world that we live in, that they will only have each other's back. And I want them to understand that even through friendships, through relationships, through good times and bad, through school, through home life, summertime, I just truly hope that I can do a better job and identifying those dynamics and helping them understand why it is so important for one another, for all of them to have a good relationship. I know my 2 oldest kids, my 14-year-old and my 11-year-old, they're they're different, but the same, if that makes sense. They like the same things. They act the same, but they also don't act the same. My relationship with all of my kids, I love them all very much. My relationship with them is definitely different by each one of them. But at the end of the day, I love them with my whole being. My oldest definitely is more the motherly type than my second oldest. My oldest, I'd say that she's very, of course, I want to say entitled, but what kid doesn't really act entitled? And I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying. So I think that my oldest feels like she fights a lot for my attention. As the oldest, of course, sometimes I have to, I have to allocate my time to the others, because my two youngest, they can hardly take care of themselves. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. But my two older ones, they really do their best. They do their best to, help me out in the house. They do their best to maintain good grades. They do their best with helping out their younger siblings. But for some reason, when my youngest two, my 6-year-old and my 3-year-old, they don't get along at all. I mean, it's like, like a cat fight almost every day. They don't want to share. They both feel entitled. They both fight over me. They both fight over each other. They both fight over dad. They fight over my mom. It's intense. And sometimes they even fight with their older siblings. And obviously my 6-year-old, she doesn't know what a sibling dynamic even means. But I hope that as time goes on, I can instill in my oldest kids and let them know that they're going to dictate how the relationship plays out for all of them. And I truly believe that the environment that these kids grow up in nowadays and what you instill in them can still have a negative or a positive impact on these children. So I'm just curious, who else struggles with that out there? Who else has, kids that have siblings? And even I'm wondering, like, other kids that have siblings that are not even like biologically like theirs. Let's say, for example, if you're in a relationship that is no longer, and dad had another baby, or dad already has a baby by somebody else, or whatever that might look like, because of course every family dynamic is different, much less a sibling dynamic. But I'm just kind of curious, what are you guys doing to ensure that your guys' children are being the best that they can be to one another, maintaining and being responsible for each other, having a good bond for one another? I'm very, very proud of my kids overall. I think that the world that we live in and everything that happens on a daily basis, I'm so grateful. My kids are, they are very, very special to me. They are absolutely, without a doubt, the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I'll forever be the best that I can be to them, because I want them to be the best to each other. And I know I'm getting all choked up, and that's not my intention here. My intention is solely to make sure that in this world that they know that when times get tough, that they will have each other. When they need someone to talk to and I'm not around, I'm busy, that they have each other. I want them to know, like, if God forbid something happens and they're bullied at school, that they have each other. I want to instill that, in their head, that they have each other. And even when the little petty fights happen, when my daughter gets into her makeup, or my other baby is, giving a hard time, or she wants her bottle, or whatever it might be, the silly things that we do on a daily basis that sometimes causes aggravation, I want my kids to know that the full love that's behind, that's behind them. I want them to understand that it's for all the right reasons. It's because their bond is going to be unbreakable. They will be loving each other. And I know as time goes on, like me and my brother's definitely the best thing that's ever happened to me. Although we're not close, as close as I'd like us to be, we live a little far from each other. I still, without a doubt, love him with everything that I have. And my mom did the best that she could to ensure that, we did grow up and having a hard time, for sure, me and my brother, but we definitely came around, and I hope that for my kids as well. I really do. Sometimes my children get caught up in social media, and I do my best to manage that for them, and I do my best to let them know that, statistics or stereotyping people is not okay, and making sure that you guys are, you guys confront and confide in each other and not against each other. I don't want you guys to have friendships with other people that are not okay with each other, if that makes sense. I don't want you guys to think that it's okay to be bullying each other or be bullying the friends of one another. Like, absolutely not. I know that a lot of times, a lot of parents, they don't dictate these things for these kids. They don't maneuver their way in their relationship with their children to ensure that the other siblings are, all on the same page, that they all have each other's back 100%. So before I continue rambling on, I just wanted to come on here real quick and, like I said, talk about family really sibling dynamics. What do you guys do? What's worked for you? And just share your guys' story down below. I really am curious. Like I said, just wanting to come on here and share a couple things with you guys. But until next time, I'll see you. Bye guys.